Welcome to Get Your Popcorn Ready, hashtag GPR. It's your boy Hatch in the building with your man T.O.
What it do, what it do?
What it do? We got our man Marcellus Wiley coming to the show today. Big Wild, what's up, baby? Come holler at us. He'll be here in a minute.
San Diego, 10-year vet. I know him as that dude.
That dude. When you meet Marcellus, man?
Oh man, I can't recall exactly when we met, but he was a force on the field though. All I remember is number 75 coming off that end.
You know what I remember? That little bowling thing he used to do when he got a sack.
Oh,
he did that little bowling thing.
Yeah, exactly. I'm telling you, hey, everybody always has sort of like their signature move. You know what I mean? I had a number of them, so I don't really just have one, because, it's what I do.
You got 153 of them. Huh?
Yeah, so, okay. But as a defensive lineman, defensive end, sacks don't come, plenty. Easy. But for a guy like Marcellus Wiley, that dude, and that's why he's that dude on Speaking for Yourself, with him and Jason Whitlock.
Marcellus Wiley coming to the building. Hashtag GPR, get your popcorn ready.
Subscribe on the Himalaya app or wherever you get your audio or video podcasts. Top 3, and they gonna go research like, who was top 3, whatever, 5, whatever.
It was insulting to even have a super VIP of Hall of Famers. Like, Hall of Fame's enough. Why y'all gonna do a super VIP? Like, extortion of bottles. Like, they you gotta have 50 bottles to be in this club.
Like, which one is it? What's the criteria?
And he didn't get in? No, I was good not getting in.
That's he ain't in. That's why we gonna bring you to the What's Poppin' scenario, right? The What's Poppin' episode, the GPR. Get your popcorn ready. We're here with Marcellus Wiley.
Yeah.
The What's Poppin' segment, baby. Got Marcellus in the house, baby. What it do?
Look at this. Amongst friends, I say.
Yes, sir.
Man, look at y'all, boy. Y'all done cleaned up in here. Look at it.
No, you've cleaned up.
You cleaned.
And rightfully so.
That's that Fox money.
Fox himself.
Yeah, right.
Mr. Fox himself.
I love it, man. It's fun.
I ain't worried. I stay camera ready. He had to put the makeup on and do all that.
I don't know him.
I'm just saying. That's what
exactly. He like you
ready.
To the
he
party.
had to get ready.
Oh man, y'all stop. I know y'all got a little cheat sheet here. This is gonna be interesting since y'all know so much about me.
You know
what we gonna get out of me for a camera? It's gonna be fun.
We want it all out of you.
Let's
we want it all.
Let's go.
Cause I know the number one thing is like we all went to small schools, right? And of course our transition to get into the NFL and play professional football, and then our transition out. It's kind of been similar, except we
do have in common.
That we do have in common.
That we do have in common.
We do, right.
So we wanted you to take a little bit on that.
Yeah, man. Going to Columbia, obviously that's not the yellow brick road to get to the NFL. And it was just weird playing with guys who treated college football like PE. Like they literally was just going there to check the box, no future goals and aspirations to go in the league. And those were my teammates. So you had to buy in to the culture, but to them, they had an expiration date. And I didn't. I was like, I'm trying to make it from here.
You got no choice.
No choice. Yeah. So I remember it was one day that we were sitting there and our schedule started later than the Power 5, the big schools. And we were sitting there on a Saturday, we had practice while everyone else was playing. And Florida State was on. And I remember watching them. And then I looked at my teammates, we were at the dining hall, and their mouths were wide open like, I was like, hey, dog, we on the same level as them dudes.
That's us right there.
That's us right there. Obviously, we can't beat them.
Of course.
But you can't have that mindset that we're already beat. So you fast forward, man, I was blessed to get drafted at all, let alone second round. And you walk into the league and you have to translate that confidence that you had at the lower level and bring it up there with the big dogs. You can't get intimidated. They didn't bring the program with them. They brought themselves. So, going to the combines and pro day, you start to realize that some guys were hiding behind the school. Yeah. And some guys were just ballers, and you just go through those growing pains. But I wouldn't have changed a thing, man. I got the best of both worlds, got a great academic reputation, I like to call it. People just assume I'm smart because I went there. All right.
Student athlete, if you will.
In the right order, though.
Student. That's why I said it.
So it was all love, man, and got 10 in and then translated that into the real world. Right. And I just tell all my boys, man, athletes especially, those attributes we learn from playing the game of work ethic, discipline, pain tolerance, conditioning, not just physical, but mental. Come on, man.
That's life. That's what the life is. That's what your life is.
And go into the real world and
use the
bring
same
that instead of leaving it like, oh, what I'm going to do next in this world.
You know what to do next. Go do those exact same things.
Yeah, have it be applicable to.
Yeah, man. And I see so many guys struggle, man. They leave like those attributes with the ball instead of taking it with them. Yeah. So, you know, it's been good. It's been a blessed road. Be out here making, you know, athlete money, but just talking. I take it.
Ooh, I ain't mad at you, my dog.
Somebody paid for this suit.
You think that you would have went higher in the draft or played longer if you would have went to a bigger school?
Ooh, that's a great question. Definitely higher in the draft. I remember some of the scouts evaluators were like, man, you look like you can do something.
Right.
But who you playing against, they don't look like they can do shit.
Right.
So he's like, look at these accountants and judges and CEOs out here you playing against in the Ivy League. So I knew that was going to come back to haunt me. But if I were to went to a big school, the only bonus would have been the fraternity, the brotherhood.
Yep.
Like imagine if I went to USC, whatever.
Man.
I would have had.
So you saying you didn't have the brotherhood where you were?
No,
not like
I
USC
didn't.
brotherhood.
Because think about it. I get to Buffalo rookie year, I'm either relying on veterans to show me the ropes or some other rookies and youngsters who don't know it fully yet. Whereas at a big school, they have their alums that already are in the league, that played at the league. They already have that fraternity looking out or coming back. No one came back from the NFL when I was at Columbia to say, let me show you the ropes. So I had to learn everything on the fly. I felt like the windshield, like bugs just hit me in the face. And until like Bruce Smith and Phil Hansen saw enough game in me, I was on my own. I had to fend for myself. So going to a big school, you can get those resources, not only in facilities, but in connection. You got 10, 12 dudes in the league all balling or just on teams to give you that understanding and exposure. I ain't had that.
I think I was the first person drafted from Langston University since Hollywood Henderson.
Damn.
And that was like 76 or 78.
I don't even know where Langston University, where is that?
Oklahoma.
Oh.
Yeah. Nobody knows where Chattanooga is neither, but
they know where it is now.
That's what I was gonna say. You know what I'm saying? I was like, until you
Oklahoma. You out there winning,
in the country.
Boy,
you country.
Hey,
like I said, it's part of it.
You talking about big fish.
I'm still the big fish, B. Don't get it twisted. You know what I'm saying?
I see T.O. and Hatch.
It's supposed to be Hatch and T.O.
That don't even sound right. That don't go right. That don't even.
I can't get that. I can't get that.
Peanut butter and jelly, ham and cheese. You know what I mean? It's like
ham and burger.
Like, it don't match. It don't match. It don't match.
Yeah.
It don't match. All right, that's fine. I ain't mad. I ain't even mad. But so how about the transition now? That whole transition into the TV.
Yeah, because obviously you were on Sports Nation.
Yes.
And then from Sports Nation, ESPN affiliate, and then you transition now to like the big fish, which is Fox. I mean, nobody was really watching Fox like they're watching Fox now. It was almost out of the conglomerate. ESPN was at the hierarchy of media. Now Fox is one of those entities.
Yeah, man, it's been blessed. I say when I got out the league, I was thinking, man, I'm gonna do like all the vets told me to do. Retire, get fat, party, count your money, and golf.
Right.
And I did that for like 8 months.
Right.
I got fat for sure.
Right.
I partied. It was just funny running around L.A. You're in a Rolls Royce and Ferrari, and you're 32. I'm retired at 32.
You be doing all that? I ain't even been in a Ferrari, bro.
Or a Rolls Royce.
You live in Atlanta, though. So you're living in Atlanta.
Yeah, I would. It is a little different.
LA. Your car is your house. Right. You show up at valet, right? It's home. Right. So I'm riding around just living like, wow, my peers are all still at work. And I'm making up errands just to floss, just to hit circles around the block, just to get out there. Out the house. And then I started to lose purpose and passion really for life. Everything was great. So many highlights behind me. And then I just had to make sure that I kept my mind on the grind and the prize of making sure highlights were in front of me. So I couldn't just, at 32, say my best years were in my 20s.
Can't say that.
So can't say that. I mean, just to be a father, just to be a future husband at that time, just to be a person. I just couldn't sit there and say my highlights were yesteryear. Right. So all that running around in circles for 8 months, finally, I was like, man, enough of this.
Yeah, can't do that no more.
And ESPN, we had a great relationship already. I was kind of more candid than the average cat in the locker room, in part because it felt like it was an outer body experience. Going to a small school, Columbia, I wasn't tired of football and big business football. A lot of my teammates coming from the big schools, they already hated the media from like the rookie year. Tired of it. I was like, damn, y'all. Yeah. Like, the dude come in, is like, so how'd you play today? He's like, man, did you watch?
Right.
Damn, dog. Like,
Exactly.
What's wrong with you?
Right.
He asked me, how'd you play? I was
like, I thought you had a good game.
Hey, it was amazing. Third down, did you see that? I almost jumped off sides, didn't I?
Right.
I'm like telling them everything.
Right.
So it helped me foster relationships, and ESPN came a-calling once again. And 2 weeks later, I was hosting shows and doing shows and just sticking to my script, man. And that's blossomed into where I am now. And I just tell everybody, just find your signature, find your voice, man. It's simple as that, and just do that. Because when I got in the game, everybody was trying to be broadcasters.
Right. Yeah.
Hello,
everybody. Yeah.
welcome. Man, that ain't gonna work.
No.
You're gonna be in that pack, you're gonna be in that herd, and you're gonna be forgotten. So just find whatever your uniqueness is and just go out there and flex it, and it's been fun.
Yeah, I mean, I've watched the show a number of times, and I think, for me, it's encouraging to see a black man, obviously educated, very articulate, being well-versed in a number of topics. And I think what you're presenting, to a number of these athletes that are now in the league, and then they don't know what they may do after, get out of the league. You're setting that table of what they can be, how you've transitioning. And again, you've spoken on that. Yeah. And so now, like a lot of guys now that are in the league, they may not, like I said, they may not know what they can become or what they can do post-football. What advice would you give guys now? I mean, just think about where the league is now. I know there's a lot of hot topics out there about African Americans being head coaches and not fulfilling those positions. What advice would you give guys now that they're living in the moment and they're not really thinking post-football about some of the things that they're going to encounter? So for me personally, and I'm sure Hatch has gone through it, I'm sure you've gone through it, a lot of these guys, they don't know post-football, we don't have health insurance for life. After 5 years, it's a wrap. And then you can apply for an 18-month extension. And then for me personally, they don't realize the leverage that they have, not only just for, partnering with the NFLPA to get even guaranteed contracts, but even negotiating health insurance. What advice would you give these guys that are playing now to make some of these things happen?
Yeah, man. I mean, look, there used to be a old school mentality around focus. In the 80s, especially when I was playing Pop Warner, high school, if you didn't eat, sleep, drink, breathe football, you weren't committed. Exactly. You weren't focused. Right. And that's an old school way of illustrating what focus is. So that's one dot on the wall, football. Oh, I'm mesmerized by it, and I'm focused. New thinking is throw 1,000 dots on that wall and know how to prioritize, know importance, and that's the new focus. So these guys have to think about their next in the now, and too many guys don't. Because too many guys are football players in their minds, in their bodies, in their character, in their heart.
That's it. That's all they got.
I played football. I never was a football player. I was like, look, I got talents. I'm going to figure what they are. Oh, I'm pretty good in class, and I'm pretty good on this graph. Simple as that. I'm going to ball out, give you full commitment. But at the same time, I know this will come to an end. It's a finite game, no matter how tremendous you are at it. I was done at 32. 25 years of my life playing football from Pop Warner all the way to the pros. And then, now what? Yeah. So, if you look at life, it's so funny that if you're not prepared for those moments that are going to be in front of you, almost to the point where you fail forward, you're going to feel it. You're going to feel the pinch. So a lot of guys don't take advantage of the resources in the present time. Here's the thing about it. Our coach used to always laugh at us. And you thinking you're going to play forever, you're going to make all the money in the world, nothing's going to end. The fairy tale lasts forever. And coach used to say, don't say hello when it's time to say goodbye. And that hit us because at first you're like, what are you talking about? Yeah. And he's talking about the networking, the human capital, the resources.
Use it while you can.
Right. Because when you come in as a rookie and you start balling, everybody on your head.
Right.
Then when you're a vet, proven vet, all pro bowler, whatever, future Hall of Famer, They all around you.
The accessibility.
Yeah.
Everybody there. We go into those lunches where CEOs sitting there.
They all there.
And they all sitting there. And, hey, Terrell. Hey, Matthew. And you know, I used to remember all my teammates doing this. Man, what's table I got sit?
Yeah.
Over there.
I don't want to go talk to them
talk
folks.
to this dude. He VP or what? I don't care about this dude. And sitting there pouting, giving off that energy. And the guy's like, nice, here's my card.
Yeah, call me.
Yeah, call me.
Do the, and come
never
do the
hit him back,
intern.
never nothing.
Yeah.
And then guess what happens? Year 12. And some rookie done took your job, and you're like, I'm on my third team, fourth team, rubbing these knees like this. You're like, I don't know, cuz. Yeah. And guess what? You find that card and try to call that dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
He knows it's been 6 years.
Yeah.
And he knows somebody took your place.
Yeah.
Just letting you know how that changes the imagery, how that changes the optics, and that changes your opportunities. So
and
I just tell cats to take
what's
advantage.
What's worse than that is even when the people who aren't CEOs and vice presidents, right? They're still just regular lower level guys. You still got to give them love and respect because they're going to be the CEO and vice president when you're 35, 40, 45. And they can give you that little 25 racks to come do the speaking engagement. But since you blew them off because he was a peon at the time, that's not what you do. Like you said, you treat them all with that same respect.
Yeah, man. I mean, when we're young, obviously youth is wasted on the young. We just think it's all about money and us and capital, what that exchange. But human capital, man, I see how that runs the world, you know, as much. It's just having relationships. And those relationships are not just to always extract something from, it's just to have exposures to something else. So many athletes just are not exposed, man. Yeah, you may have went to Vegas to play in a tournament, and you may have went to New York to run in the track meet, and who you meet, man? We sitting up in the hotel.
Yeah.
Oh,
in the room. I don't want to do nothing.
I'm going to a restaurant and a strip club.
Yeah.
You ain't met nobody. Went to the mall and flexed.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So it's simple anecdotes like that. If cats just take advantage of the here and now, it's a lot better, and you can protect yourself in those rainy days going forward.
But I think I get what you're saying. But sometimes, what if a guy wasn't groomed or he understands how to create those relationships? Like I said, I mean, growing up, I put myself in, like, I didn't know how to, I wasn't a great communicator. Like, I was pretty much a product of my environment.
You're
so when
still not a great communicator.
That's fine too.
That's why I need to be Hatch and T.O.
Okay, well, let's see how this show goes with just get your popcorn ready.
Right.
Back to what I was saying. So, like, for me, I was a product of my environment. So, socially awkward, so it was like uncomfortable kind of being around, you know, business people, whatever, or, you know, not having a dad and a mom, you know, those two parents to kind of help groom you or whatever the case may be. Maybe that's probably part of that. Maybe it's a cultural thing.
Yeah, but what they say, be better than your best excuse?
Right.
And T.O., you embody that, man. Like, look, I don't care how good you are in football, I don't care how tremendous Hall of Famer, us non-Hall of Famers, I don't care who you are in the pecking order. I do know that you have to work on things. Like, you come in, you're like, yeah, I could kill the 9 route. I got to work on this button hook. You worked on it?
Right, yeah.
Because you didn't have any holes in your game. Not when our coach when we played against T.O., coach would say, if he catches the ball, that's when the hell begins.
Yeah.
And I was like, for real talk. I always tell cats when they be talking, dog, I get into so many arguments about who's the best receiver ever, and I'll be like, dog, right here. Just got into one last week with my boy Omar. And the point of it is, you still had to work. Boy, you gonna look at him.
Right. This guy, he on a different planet right now. He gone.
I gotta tell the truth always.
Look at my man.
All I'm saying is, you worked on the things you weren't great at. You went to the lab and worked on your left hand. Guess what you knew also? Socially, that's my left hand.
So I gotta work on that.
You have to work on it. You should grab a coach and grab a mentor, grab someone in human resources, someone who can help activate and work on those routes that you're not so comfortable with. Because if not, you just burn through so many opportunities. And those opportunities are, whether it's money, whether it's just employment, whether it's just, look, I could connect you. You could be sitting there somewhere on a 5% loan thinking you like, I'm good.
Right.
And somebody like, I got that 3.7.
Right. Like, huh?
But you didn't know that because you didn't know them. So it's just situations like that I've seen so many guys just step on and then don't take notice of that opportunity. So not to dive too deep into it, because we hung out when you were playing.
Yeah.
But you dealt with a different animal as well. Like, you had so much coming at you that it may have been tougher to maneuver.
Navigate through it. Yeah, because bro, like I said, we all started out the same playing field, but our vision and our aspiration was probably different. Like I said, I never aspired to be a professional football player. I never thought I would play beyond the collegiate level. So just with my competitiveness, and like I said, I got to Chattanooga on the heels of somebody else that was being recruited. Right. So then my love was for basketball. So even after my freshman year, you know, the coach, the freshman year, he wouldn't allow guys that were recruited to play football. He wouldn't let them play any other sports. So he ended up getting fired the first year. So the second year coach comes in. We didn't do well during that season. Season ended early. I go up to the office and I'm like, yo, can I walk on and try out for basketball? Damn. So he was just like, you do know that these guys that are playing basketball, they're being recruited for that, right?
For real, they legit
right. He's like, yeah, they're getting scholarship. I'm like, yes, sir. And he said, did you play in high school? I said, yeah, I played in high school. He goes, look, you can go give it a shot. He said, if you can make our basketball team, that'll tell me what type of athlete you are.
Yeah.
You ain't lying.
3 years later,
Boom.
I played sophomore, junior, senior year.
Yeah, because all football players are nothing but failed basketball players. All of us, you too. Especially
yeah,
you.
him. Yeah, he definitely failed.
We ain't
yeah,
nothing.
For sure.
Trust me.
You failed.
If everyone had it their way, ain't a single soul other than maybe Ray Lewis playing football. I ain't met another person unconditionally loved the game of football. That shit hurt. Don't lie. So we all wanted to be basketball players.
Jordan.
Empty backpacks. Yeah. Girls think we cute. Flip-flops and socks. That's the dream. But around 8th grade, reality hits.
I'm not 6'7".
I'm
not 6'7". That's all right.
Hey, you don't knock on your door.
Yeah, but
You're a late bloomer, huh?
I'm a late. I'm different.
You still blooming?
Still.
You see what I'm saying? No.
Still. I'm talking about can get buckets.
I know. Every celebrity game, he guaranteed 3 dunks.
That's
4 air balls.
No,
yo, Jay got way better.
Hey.
Jay got way better. I'll give you that. I thought he was gonna make the team. What did you try for the Lake?
No. I didn't. I played in a semi-pro league.
I remember that. I was like, T.O. got buckets. Yeah. But it's a whole different animal.
No, it is. Like I said, if I would have applied myself just as I did with football, I definitely feel like I would have made it.
Yeah.
And like I said, and when I say make it, a lot of people are, they automatically think, I would have just been in the starting five.
Yeah, like you're the
Do
next
they know
LeBron,
that there's
like
13, 15 guys on the team?
Right.
Yeah.
And a lot of these on this team, you don't even know who they are.
Yeah.
But you made the right choice because you're a Hall of Famer in football where you would have been.
He would have been number 15 on basketball for sure. He would have been 15. He would have been 15.
Yeah. Really? I would have been like a Patrick Beverly.
Dog. No, you wouldn't.
Yes, I would have. I got that dog in me, bro. I would have been like a Patrick Beverly. My game model's like Scottie Pippen. You don't know that.
We don't win.
I'm out. Come get this thing off me.
My dog.
Yeah. Scottie Pippen.
Scottie Pippen used to say?
That's how my game was, dog. I'm nice.
You know how tall Scottie Pippen? You know how long Scottie? That has a lot to do with it.
Height. Sometimes height doesn't have anything to do with your
this
game.
right now.
There's a lot of guys that are in the league. Muggsy Bogues, he's like 5'5".
Yeah, you're not 5'5".
He said he buckets.
You know what I mean?
He's not, but he's not.
I am. I'm a walking 10-10. Walking 10-10.
You're a walking headache.
You're not even. You're barely walking.
I tell you what.
His body is worse than yours.
My man
Marcellus.
just got off surgery.
I can see.
No, he just got off surgery.
Because he's working.
He just got off.
Exactly. Thank you. Know what I'm talking about?
Running routes, playing softball.
He's not supporting your
My man
craft.
playing softball hurt himself. Look, knee blew out. Look at it. Softball.
But check this out.
No, softball.
I can beat him right now.
That's slow pitch. Slow pitch softball. ACL. Put him on the table.
I'm gonna let him preface and set it up to how he it looks. Yeah, look like I just got hurt just tripping over a base. That's not how it happened.
Well, how did it happen then?
I don't know, T.O. I think you in the same
Sit
camp
your
as
butt
like
down.
Gates, Gonzalez, Julius Peppers. Like those are like 2 Hall of Famers.
Yeah, we're exceptional athletes.
But y'all also are fringe basketball NBA level. But guess what? You dominate football.
Yeah, but I'll get both of those though. They can't mess with me.
This the one, huh?
Different planet. Different planet.
Yeah, we are. You said I like that. Me and Dion.
You're not. You can't Dion on the same page.
Yes,
you can't put yourself in the Dion category.
Back to get your popcorn ready. This is what we doing. This is what we do. Yeah, what's popping right
it's
here?
All good. It's popping. Got Marcellus Wiley off Fox. So again, speaking about Fox, so how do you like doing this show? With just like I said, we know it's Fox, we know it's politically correct, especially with your boy Whitlock on there.
Politically incorrect the way we roll, but
so
I hear you.
Are you and Whitlock kind of the opposites, you think, or like the same?
Yeah, you know what? he's a unique thinker. He's not going to get in the echo chamber, so I respect that. He puts in the work. I love that. Yeah, I'm not into the matchmaking. It's funny, Michelle Beadle, Max Kellerman, Kerry Champion, Jason Whitlock, like there's no commonality, no consistency in who they are and our pairing. What happens is, I think we have an authentic expression. So Whitlock feels it, Whitlock says it. And it's going to typically land in the unconventional realm. Like, whoa, you think what? Typically. But it's because he's principle-based, raised off of his family values, the church, and football. So he really aligns himself in those thoughts and beliefs. I'm a little more nuanced, or let's say pliable, based on my extremes. So I'm from Compton.
Right, total different world.
Yeah, grew up in South Central, pre-NWA, so it was even realer. It was so real they had to make songs and movies about it. Like, damn, this crazy.
Realer than real.
Realer than real.
Right.
So I grew up in all that kind of stuff in, LA in the 80s. And then I go to Columbia, where kids had $25,000 a month allowances dropped off in helicopters. Like wearing 3 suits like this to class, taking naps to get ready for class.
How the hell you get to Columbia?
Oh, man. it was a long flight. How'd I get there? You know what? I was thinking I was going to go to UCLA. And I was going to sign there, and then I realized that's like high school 2.0 for me. I'm from LA, go to UCLA. Everybody was pumped that, I'm going to a big school.
That was your comfort zone.
Yeah.
It would have been a comfort zone, but you wanted to step outside of that.
Lead a nest, man. And I tell you, what really happened is I did this test, my friends, telling them about the big schools recruiting me. Oh, man, you're going to go up there, we're going to kick it, we coming through the frat house, we're going to ball out, get some gloves, sweatsuits.
That's not what you wanted to hear.
Yeah, I'm like, all right, I'm not mad because I'm 17, but I'm like, then I tell the teachers, same big schools, that's amazing. Your hard work is paid off, congratulations. Then I flipped it. I tell those teachers about Columbia, they're like, stop. You can go to Columbia? Go. Trust me, life's going to be different. Go. You go. Then I told my friends about Columbia, and they sealed the deal. I tell my friends, I'm going to Columbia. They're like, where the hell that at? South America? Like, I'm like,
yeah, it is. Yeah, actually it is. I'm out.
Yeah, right. So that's my point. So I had to respect not just my peers, but actually the teachers, counselors, the elders who knew better. So I went there, and man, being in New York City, that'll get you. That's a recruiting trip in itself. Absolutely. So it got me.
So I think your take on, like, obviously Whitlock and what you bring to the table, and I think now, like, even when I watch, guys like Ryan Clark and a lot of other athletes, Keyshawn and these guys, and as you said, some guys, they kind of, they're in that echo chamber, but it's just like, I feel like they're doing the audience a disservice when they just kind of piggyback. When they've been in those locker rooms, they played the game, and they should offer a different perspective to those people that are these millions of people, viewers that are watching, so they can understand more so than just jumping on the bandwagon of everybody else. Let it be known you're on there for a reason, so you should be able to articulate and get your point across without bashing or downplaying what it really is. And so that's why I feel like a show like ours, get your popcorn ready. We're offering a different perspective. We're coming off the cuff, but we're keeping it real. We're keeping it authentic.
Yeah, and I don't think a lot of people understand that you can be 100 and still
have a job.
Like, cats, one, you're doing yourself and your audience a disservice, as you said.
Right.
2, you're making this work where it shouldn't be work. It should just be a display of who you are and your thoughts on whatever's coming your way in question or topic. So it's crazy. I hate this when I'm on air with somebody and they say something, then we get off air and they be like, but for real. And I'll be like, but for real, you should have said that.
While you were right there.
Now let me support them and why they don't. One, there's an anxiety of losing your job because you won't be able to properly support your thought if it's not with the crowd. So people don't spell check and thought check when you say what everybody else is saying. So they get lazy and they also get safe. But if you actually do the work and you have a belief and confidence in what you're saying and how you can say it,
and can support
man, pop off all day and every day, because there is someone sitting there like, as soon as you say the real, you're gonna activate me. So that's how like the whole Kaepernick stuff started with a lot of people. For years, everybody was like, yeah, go Cap. Yeah, go Cap. Then finally Cap was like,
straddling the
man,
fence.
hold on, dog. That's some BS right there. That part. Now, it went from 100 to 0 in terms of especially our people talking bad about Cap to now it's move by move. People are like, I don't know. Some people are not blindly in solidarity anymore.
Point in case, when I made the statement, when I said, hey, Stephen A., Max Kellerman seemed blacker than you.
That I was wrong. You were wrong for that. Even though I'm glad, I love the audacity
to say it.
But let me explain. Let me explain.
All right, let you explain.
So let me explain what I meant by that.
All right.
Based on the discussion they were having, Max Kellerman seems to have a better understanding at what was going on better than Stephen A. And now that all this other stuff has come out, the fact that now he was behind the scenes trying to help Cap, and then all this, the waiver, this, and that, and the other.
Right.
That's why I felt like he was doing just relieve the black people, the community a disservice by saying, then he tried to justify it, like, well, T.O., I've supported you, this and that and the other. But that was apples and oranges. That has nothing to do with this Colin Kaepernick situation.
Okay, I'm going to say this. Now, Max is my dog. Stephen A. got love for him. That's my man. You got to remember this. It's easy to be a soldier when there's no war. Remember this when you're starting to say a white person knows more about the black person's experience.
But that's what I did.
Let me tell you why.
But that's
the
why
problem. He never has to deal with those microaggressions, the consequences, the penalties that Stephen A. had to live through all day, every day. So even if he comes to a different summation in his experiences, they still fall under the umbrella of being black. Our problem is, and I heard someone say this recently, that we have confused unity with uniformity. So unity is like we all gonna sit here and fight for the same goal in different ways. Uniformity is we gotta fight the same way.
No, we don't.
We need to stop with this whole like, you a sellout, you a coon, you Uncle Tom, or you ain't black enough when you do it differently. It's not about that. Like Stephen A., no matter what he does, he can't erase his blackness. I respected your point because you actually highlighted something I agree with. There are levels to this. Like this whole I have friends that are Irish German. They say that. Black people don't go around saying I'm black and white.
No, not at all.
And if your mama's sitting there looking at you and she white and she don't hear that you white also, mama like,
what's up,
how
young
you doing?
fella?
Don't forget the other half, right?
Yeah.
So look, this is gonna be way deeper than what we are, but in respect to what you said, you touched on something. But I think you offended them because it's like, I deal with the consequences all day.
And I told him, I said it tongue in cheek. So it wasn't like I was just maliciously saying it.
You gonna smile next time you tongue in cheek?
I did. I laughed. I
did
that. Yeah, go back.
I knew where you were coming from.
Right, but I know Stephen A. So I was like, and I even explained, I said, dude, I said it tongue in cheek. I mean, I was laughing kind of when I said it.
But
again, he took offense.
The heat of the room was
right, but the thing is, he took offense to it because at this time, it's Tuesday or Wednesday, everybody's going at his neck. So now everybody has questioned his blackness, and now the fact that pretty much I've said what a lot of people were thinking.
Real. That's why I loved it, because I was like, you kept it 100, but woo!
We're going to keep it 100 on GPR with your boy, Marcellus Wiley.
My dog.
Appreciate it, baby.
Man.
Get your popcorn ready,
Look
buddy.
at you, Southside
You know what I'm saying, huh?
My dog.
Appreciate it, man.
Man, what's up with that top 100?
Hey, he ain't on it. That's what